guys and welcome. As you may have seen on my Instagram, I went to visit an aquarium. It's called the Blue Planet and it was absolutely fantastic. I've always had this kind of attraction to all of these under the sea documents, like what lies beneath the surface of the ocean. One thing that I particularly enjoy watching and one thing that I have a great interest in is of course the octopus. Octopuses are so amazing. They're such a peculiar creature, you know, like they can fit into like these very tiny holes and somehow they can also grow very big. They're such an amazing animal, and of course there's been tons and tons of stories about them, like the kraken or the kraken or however you say it. Like every time you talk about the deep sea monsters, somehow the octopus always seems to find its way into that story. I've always had a fascination of these animals. I think they're so amazing, and when my job said that you can pick any subject you would like to film and just go do it, I was like, can we please go do octopus? And they said yes. So me and my colleague, her name is Vicky, we went to the Blue Planet. The people who were working there were so amazing, and not only did they allow us to film, you know, directly into the aquarium, but they also took us backstage. And backstage, that is where the magic truly does happen. Now this guy you see right here, he was my absolute favorite. When I saw him, I just knew that I had to have an octopus at one point. Like, I need to have an octopus. I need to experience these animals. I need to teach other people about them. I need to show how amazing these creatures are and how important it is that we take care of them in their natural habitat. But this guy here, he didn't have a name though. The people who worked at the Blue Planet was very into not naming the animals because they didn't want to make them too much human, if you know what I mean. They really wanted people to see them as the beautiful animals that they are and know that they needed to be protected. And I really loved that. It was so amazing to see how they just did their best to recreate these natural environments where they lived and to show off their beauty. As you can see, this guy was so beautiful. In Latin, this guy is known as the Octopus vulgaris, and I think the common name is something like the common octopus. The thing that made this guy very special to me was that this guy actually lived in Danish waters, and that's quite unusual because first of all, I didn't know that we had octopus living in the Danish waters, and I bet a lot of other people didn't know as well. And that's also what this article and the video that we are gonna do for my work is going to be about. Like, did you actually know that there were octopus in Danish water? I for sure didn't, and that is what makes this guy so very special to me, because he is one of the species that actually lives there. He also lives in other places around the world, of course. You know, we went up backstage and there was this wonderful guy who's been taking care of octopuses for many years. He's an expert in his field, and he told me that if we wanted to, we could touch the octopus. And I was like, hell yeah, I'm gonna touch it. You know, I'd never ever touched an octopus, but I've always had this fascination, so I really needed to just, you know, like, I really wanted to do that. He told me, like, you have to be very quick and you have to take care of your camera because he splashes water at you. So I was kind of like, you know, I was so ready when he came up and he was like, go. So I just kind of shoved my hands down, and this guy, he just grabs my hand and he pulls it underwater. He's so strong, you won't even believe it, and he just pulls it underwater. Like, I really needed a good amount of strength to keep my hand up. But this guy, like, we stayed there for, I don't know, like 40 minutes. I just wouldn't let go of him and he wouldn't let go of me. But it was such a joy. Like, he was so curious. He wasn't scared of me. He was so curious and he was so mischievous, because what he did was that he grabbed my hand and then he just, you know, made sure that I couldn't let go, and then he would splash the water at me. So when I left the aquarium, I was completely soaked in water. And it was pretty cold, so I got sick. It was just, it was not nice, but it was totally worth it. Like, this guy was so amazing, he really was. Another thing we saw was this cuttlefish, and in Danish we call them like the sabia cuttlefish, or just like the sabia. And the real awesome thing they did was that they did a dissection of this cuttlefish, and that was so fascinating, you know, like to see how does this cuttlefish look on the inside. Like, they were really good at explaining everything to us, showing, and while they did it, it was so fantastic to see. Like, the cuttlefish that they used died of old age, I believe, and then they used it to like educate people further, and I really enjoyed that. It was so magnificent to see. And one of the really cool things was this. Let me get it closer to you guys. So how many can guess what this is? This is actually a beak from one of the cuttlefish. This is like what is underneath them. Like they have all the arms, and then if you like part all the arms, you will see this. And this is the beak that they use like to catch their prey. And the cool thing about these octopus and squids is that most of them actually do kind of like tarantulas do. Like they grab onto their prey and they hold them with this, and then they use this kind of poison or this kind of thing, you know, to make the prey all goo. Like it turns into this smoothie kind of substance, just like the tarantula does, and then they kind of like slurp it up. It's totally disgusting to say, but it's so fascinating to see, and I was quite surprised that they actually like did it the same way as the tarantulas did, or almost like that, because what I really thought they did was that they would just chew everything up and then eat it. But this is an authentic beak from one of the cuttlefish, and I was so lucky to get this, and I'm so happy with this. I love this. This is one of my most precious things, and I was really taking care of it on the way home. So that is really awesome. This is an authentic beak from a cuttlefish. The next interesting thing they told me about the cuttlefish was this thing. Some of you guys may recognize this from maybe you're having like geckos or something like that, and you use this and you scrape something off on their food, and you're told that it's really good for them because it contains vitamins and all that kind of stuff that they need. Or not vitamins, what is it called? Anyway, I can't remember, but a lot of you guys who have like geckos and stuff, you may recognize this because you use it to powder over their feet, over their food, of course. The cool thing about this is that this shell, in Danish we call it like a sepia shell or a sepia scale, is that these actually comes from the cuttlefish, and I didn't know that, so I was totally blown away when they kind of like took it out of the cuttlefish, and I was like, hey, where did that come from? A lot of you guys may have seen this on the beach. That is mostly where people collect them, and that is because they are from the cuttlefish. The cuttlefish actually has them like in front of their head, and when they die, and then they decompose and all that kind of stuff, and this is the only thing that's left of the cuttlefish, and then it just drifts around in the water until it hits the shores. So what you're actually using for your geckos and all that stuff is actually from a cuttlefish. That is awesome. Alright guys, that's all for now. I really do hope you enjoyed this episode about squids and cuttlefish and octopuses. Guys, let me know, what do you think about octopus, squids and cuttlefish? Do you fancy all the deep sea creatures, or are you more an on-land person? Let me know right down in the comments. Please give the video a like so I know that you like what I make. It really does mean a lot to me, and while you're at it, just hit subscribe on that channel. Thank you all for now, and bye bye!